I'm going to be comparing between the 2012 MacBook Air and the 2012 MacBook Pro. I got the MacBook Pro mainly because I needed more power than the MacBook Air. Not really fast, but I needed more power so I could video edit. On the MacBook Air, you still could video edit, but it's just a tad slower. So let's compare. They both have the third generation Ivy Bridge Intel Core i5 processor. The MacBook Air is clocked at 1.8 GHz and the MacBook Pro is clocked at 2.5 GHz. Which is a big difference, but in terms of speed and performance, it's not that much difference because it has the same graphics card, Intel HD 4000, so if you video edit and play games, you would not see any difference at all almost. Let's look at the memory. If you get a MacBook Air, it's not changeable. I mean that you cannot upgrade to 8 gig or 16 gig. On the MacBook Pro, however, you can. It's really easy and simple. And on a side note, I'm comparing both 13-inch and the price. The both prices are exactly same, $1,199. So let's look at hard drive. On the MacBook Air, it got a 128 gigabyte flash storage, which is SSD, which is a lot faster than the 500 gigabyte 5400 RPM hard drive on the right of on the MacBook Pro. So if you really want a fast computer, a real fast computer, I would definitely recommend the MacBook Air. It's really fast. On the MacBook Pro, it's 500 gigabyte ATA drive clocked at 5400 RPM, which is significantly slow. I expected a 7200 RPM hard drive, but unfortunately, they still have the same good old hard drive. And on the MacBook Air, there is no optical drive. So if you wanna watch movies with DVD or something else, play games, old games with boot camp and stuff, you cannot do it on the MacBook Air because it does not have any CD, DVD, or any drive. But on the MacBook Pro, you still get all the capabilities to play games, play older games with, let's say, on boot camp and stuff. So that's why I got MacBook Pro, because I wanted to still be able to have the same feature I got before. And the wireless option is pretty much exactly same. And let's look at the graphics. They both have the exact same Intel HD Graphics 4000, which is better than the last year's Intel HD 3000. But it's exactly the same, so if you play games, you will not see any difference. Exact frames per second. In fact, you might actually see better gaming on the MacBook Air. I tried Cinebench, and on MacBook Air, it got better than the MacBook Pro. So, as far as I could say, it's pretty much same. If you test it again, it might do the same. And on the display, this is where it gets, where MacBook Air is much better. MacBook Air has a resolution of 1440 by 900. And on that MacBook Pro, you get a resolution of 1280 by 800. So the MacBook Air has a lot better display. You get a crystal clear display, not exact same as Retina, but it's close to that, which is a much better display, and you don't get any glare, and you get pretty much really good display. Both are 16 by 10 aspect ratio, so if you watch movies, you'll still see black bars on the top and bottom. Or any 16 by 9 is pretty much better. On YouTube, it's 16 by 9. So I could just give you a comparison and just say stuff. Both have backlit keyboard, which is pretty good. And it does not say it, I don't think it says it, but both have 720p FaceTime camera. So if you want to video chat your FaceTime or something with video chat, you could do it in both, and you get an amazing webcam. Of course, webcam is not as good as camera, that's for sure. So it's pretty webcam. And for the size and weight, MacBook Air is significantly thinner, a lot thinner, and it's a lot lighter. The MacBook Air weighs about 2.96 pounds, and and the MacBook Pro weighs 4.5 pounds. So the thing I noticed is the MacBook Pro is way heavy when you put it in your lap. It overheats sometimes. It does not exactly overheat, but it gets really hot. So I usually put it in a stand or something, or a desk. That's mainly MacBook Pro is mainly for pro users, not for people who just want to surf wave and watch HD videos. So my voice is cracking right now for talking so long. So MacBook Air is better for watching videos, watching movies, pretty much everything. If you put it in your lap, it feels better than the MacBook Pro. Now let's look at the connections. The MacBook Air does not have any optical drive, like I said before. It does not have any Ethernet or FireWire. So those are the three things it does not have. So that's why I recommend I got MacBook Pro, because it has Ethernet. If you go to places, most places have Ethernet, but still some places does not have Ethernet. I mean, most places have a wireless connection, and some places does not have. Okay, let me start over again. Most places have wireless connection, but if they don't have it, they should have Ethernet connection. Especially when you go to an old hotel, they should have Ethernet connection. So if you have the MacBook Air, you would not be able to surf the web because it does not have Ethernet connection, so you cannot go to internet. So MacBook Pro is better for more connection. If you want to use old hardware and all others thing, it's better. The MacBook Pro has the old MagSafe power adapter, the power cord, and the MacBook Air has a MagSafe 2. I don't know if it's better or not. It's just more wide, and it probably is a little better. I don't know what happened to my throat, but it's bad. Okay, for the communication, same 802.11 and Wi-Fi connection with Bluetooth 4.0. Pretty much same. So right here is the display. They're both 13.3 inch 16 by 10 aspect ratio display. So they're pretty good. Then they're environmental friendly. It says pretty much. And right here's the configuration summary. On the MacBook Pro, you could upgrade to SSD. So if the computer is really slow, which is not, but still, if you want to upgrade to SSD, it's really simple, and you should be able to upgrade to SSD when you want. The MacBook Air is configurable up to 8 gig, at least in 13 inch, but on the website it does not say 16 gig, but you could manually upgrade to 16 gigabyte RAM. So if it gets older and you still want to use your Mac, you could upgrade to 16 gigabyte of RAM. So the MacBook Pro is pretty much future proof, because you could upgrade to SSD if you like after it gets old and it's unusable, and you could upgrade the RAM. On the MacBook Air, everything is attached to the motherboard, so they're glued in. You cannot change. In here you could change the RAM if you want. So if you're getting a MacBook Air, I would recommend that you choose 8 gig RAM, which ups the price, so now it costs $1,299. And so if you want to upgrade the RAM, it costs $100. But if you want to manually upgrade the RAM, it's much cheaper that way. Actually, let me just go to crucial.com. I can't because I'm recording on iPad, but if you go to crucial.com, let me just show you. Oh, okay, right there. You could scan your system. It does not show on the iPad, but there should be a thing right there, system scanner. So if you have a Mac or PC, Windows computer, if you scan your system, it shows you the RAM that you could upgrade to, and the price, and how much you could upgrade to, and the SSD if you want to upgrade that to. You could buy it from here. This is the best site as far as I know. So you could system scan it, and here it is. It's called, you could go to crucial.com and click system scanner, and you could scan your system to see if you could upgrade the RAM and SSD. So let's go back. So if you want the MacBook Air, it's pretty much you get what you get. You cannot upgrade to anything.